Bonjour and welcome to Paris, one of the most enchanting cities in the world. Packed with iconic landmarks, history, culture, art, culinary delights and more beautiful green spaces than you could ever want. But how do you begin to navigate the tremendous number of things to do in this famous city? Well, I've created the perfect 4-day itinerary with more than 10 incredible things to do in Paris. So, enjoy! So on day one, we are going to take ourselves on a self-guided walking tour across Paris, starting with the most iconic landmark of them all, the Eiffel Tower. No trip to Paris is complete without seeing Le Tour Eiffel, which was built in 1889 and was initially supposed to only be a temporary exhibit, but now it's one of the most recognized structures in the world. Where are we, Ellie?
I think we are next to the Eiffel Tower, pretty much.
A short walk from here and we can head to the majestic Arc de Triomphe. Commissioned by Napoleon, this monument honors those who fought and died for France. It's located at the head of the Champs-Élysées, which is a massive avenue lined with all sorts of shops for all your shopping needs, and it takes you straight down to the Place de la Concorde and to the banks of the River Seine, which is where we're going next. So now that we've visited probably two of the busiest sites in Paris, it's time to change gears a little bit and have a nice relaxing stroll along the banks of the River Seine. Along the way, you'll see one of the most beautiful bridges in the city, adorned with gold leaves and intricate sculptures. I absolutely love this walk along the Seine. It's one of the truly unique things about Paris. The amount of open green spaces, it sometimes makes you forget that you're in the middle of a massive city, which is quite rare. Now that you feel nice and zen from your stroll, it is time to replenish some energy and visit one of the many boulangeries and pâtisseries, because no day in France is complete without at least some kind of pastry. Now, day two is a big one because we are taking a break from the bustling city centre and we're heading a short trip out to the Palace of Versailles. This UNESCO World Heritage Site was once the home of Louis XVI and Marie Antoinette, and with stunning gardens and jaw-dropping architecture, it's a truly breathtaking place. We can begin our visit by wandering through the palace itself, including the historic Hall of Mirrors, which was where the famous Treaty of Versailles was signed, which effectively ended the First World War. This palace is massive, and after getting lost in it and marvelling at its many painted ceilings, be sure to spend some time in the gardens after. They're just as enchanting as the palace itself, especially with their musical fountain shows that play on a loop throughout the day. And with the grand views of the Palace of Versailles as the backdrop, what a place. As a bonus point, I'm not sure if the painting is always exhibited there, but in Versailles we saw the famous Napoleon crossing the Alps, which just topped it all off as well. At this point, I wanted to take a quick moment just to thank you for watching the video. If you are enjoying it, please do consider leaving a like and maybe subscribing. We have a few more videos from France and we are increasingly enjoying exploring France, so there will be many more coming very soon. But I won't waste any more time. Back to the video. For day 3, we are heading back into the centre of Paris for a day packed with art and culture because we are visiting the world's largest art museum, the Louvre. This museum is home to over 380,000 objects, including icons such as the Mona Lisa, the winged victory of Samothrace, with liberty leading the people, which commemorates the revolution of 1830. You can so easily spend a full day here. In fact, I would go so far to say that one day probably isn't enough if you want to see everything in this museum. If Le Louvre isn't for you, another alternative museum you can visit is firstly the Musée d'Orsay, or maybe the Hôtel des Invalides. After all, Paris has so many museums There is one for everyone. Just a short walk away from the Louvre, you will find the Notre-Dame de Paris, which is a masterpiece of French Gothic architecture with its stunning rose windows. Although it is still currently being restored after the unfortunate fire a few years ago, you can still admire its grandeur from the outside. And in fact, this area is so worth a visit because this whole part of Paris is beautiful. It's a really great place to just explore the streets and see the historic buildings and architecture on display. Every single one of the buildings is just so unique, interesting, very Parisian, kind of lives up to all the expectations. Shakespeare and Company, which is a historic English language bookstore that has been a hub for writers since 1951. Over the years, it's been a preferred place for Hemingway and Fitzgerald, and although I wasn't able to take any photos or videos inside, you'll just have to take my word for it that it is worth it for a little literary visit, let's say. To finish off this busy day, it's time to relax in the beautiful Jardin des Tuileries, which spans between the Louvre and the Place de la Concorde. These gardens are perfect for a leisurely stroll or a classic French picnic. At times, you might even forget that you're in the middle of a massive city. It's time now for our fourth and final day, and we've seen a lot of what Paris has to offer. So now it's time to look a little bit into what the surroundings of Paris has to offer. My personal suggestion would be to visit the home of the famed artist Claude Monet, which is located in Giverny. You can stroll through his stunning gardens, which inspired some of his most famous works, including his Water Lilies series. And after that, you can head into his house itself, which is now the home of many of his incredible works adorning the walls. And if you have some more time to spend around Paris, maybe going slightly further afield may be an option to potentially explore some of the historic D-Day beaches or the famous Mont Saint-Michel, beautiful towns and cities such as Fougères, Honfleur and Rouen, which is the capital of Normandy, or even head all the way up the coast to the stunning cliffs of Etretat. Even Monet loved seeing a sunset at Etretat, which we could see by his painting inside his house. If you're interested in learning more about these places spread across Normandy, feel free to check out my full video in which we spent more than a week trekking across Normandy and seeing some of the best things that this beautiful part of the world has to offer. Please feel free to let me know in the comments below which of these places is your favourite, or maybe add something else to the list if there's something you feel like I missed. That way we can all share more ideas and see even more of what this beautiful city has to offer. Thank you for watching this one. I really hope you enjoyed and found it helpful and got some useful information out of it. If you're visiting Paris or anywhere in France soon, enjoy your trip, and I will see you in the next one. Au revoir.